tapping. Tap into your purpose. Tapping.
Okay.
Check it out. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw purpose. Raw purpose. We tapping into purpose. Raw purpose. Raw purpose.
Yo, what's good, Raw fam? This is your boy Zay,
And it's your boy Rashad.
and this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Yes, it is. This is the People's Podcast. This is our podcast. This is just our avenue of just coming through to share just the best topics, giving you just the best information, sharing things that relate to you and who you are and where you're at in life, because it's all about tapping into your authentic person and your being and being in your purpose and doing that on purpose. So that's what we about. We about to really kick it off with something great today, talking about, a D word, but we'll reveal that in a second.
Right, and then that's an important word when you're talking about being authentically you, as well as pursuing your purpose and living in your purpose. So yeah, you definitely want to take some time to tune in and listen. Of course, we always are grateful for every one of our listeners, everyone that tunes in and watches, and we do not take it for granted. So we appreciate you. If you could do us a favor, if this is your first time listening to us, please comment, share, follow, like, all those good things. You can find us on Facebook, Raw on Purpose. You can find us on Instagram at Raw on Purpose _. And then you can find us on YouTube, Raw on Purpose Podcast. And if you have any questions, concerns, any topics, anything you would like for us to talk about, you can also email us at rawonpurpose@gmail.com, and that's RAONPURPOSE. And then we are streaming on all podcasting platforms. So yeah, we out there. We got some good stuff. As we enjoy putting out some good quality content. This is our second season, so we are greatly blessed, and we had a good time in our first one. We're just stepping things up as we walk into this next season, and so yeah, we appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. We have a good one in. We are talking about that D word.
Yep, that D word. I don't know what y'all thinking, but it ain't.
Talking about determination.
Not determination.
Diet, death, driving, doctors.
Nah, not any of them. I dare you.
But what are we talking about?
We talking about discipline.
Discipline.
Ugh.
The power of.
The power of it.
Ah.
Some people find that word a little despicable and disgusting and whatnot, but
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about why discipline is really a benefit, a blessing, a great thing to have that will help you.
Right. It's a necessity.
It is. If there's some growth, progression, some next levelness that you're trying to achieve in life, and that you have achieved in life, that discipline is a part of it.
Yeah.
For you to get there, because without it, you're pretty much drifting. But discipline helps you kind of like set yourself.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that it's necessary in our life. It's necessary to actually keep you alive longer. Keep you in the best. Keep your mind in the best position of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It gives structure.
Yeah.
And there's multiple meanings of discipline, right? Because you have discipline meaning that you are focused on a goal, and then you kind of you focus on the goal, that you like stay away from things that will knock you off the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, discipline is you being reprimanded or having consequences for things that you like, decisions you make. So there's so many different ways to look at this. You got people that like they study one specific thing for a lifetime. They are disciplined in it. And then my brother brought out that the fact that discipline has disciple in it, right? So
Right.
that's how people become a disciple of something, is that they stay with it for a long period of time. So
Hmm.
we're going to jump into all of those things as we talk about discipline.
Yeah. Yes. We got to talk about it. Because discipline involves like our eating habits, our sexual behaviors, our financial, how we go after things and manage this, that, and even our emotional, like all that type of stuff. So stay tuned. We about to go into the discipline. You know,
That's right. That's right. Now, in your opinion, where do you think discipline starts?
I think discipline starts with it starts with a plan or a decision to to either be better, be in a greater place, or just for just improvement, um, or to if I haven't said already, to definitely like level up, to go to that next level in you. Um, and because it's like, if you have to have an intention, you have to have something that's worthy enough, um, for discipline to even be brought up. Because like, you don't need discipline to especially if you like food, you don't need discipline to pick up a fork. You need discipline to put the
Right.
fork down.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You feel me? So it's like, and the only reason you would even need discipline to put the fork down, at least in that, is if you got information that you need to get healthier, or is this something that you made up in your mind, like, I need to, slow down on my eating and eat slower so that I can be healthy. So that's a goal, that's an intention. Like, somebody having that in mind, which causes one to change their own behavior, to change the way they move and do things, so that they can cut out the distractions, so they can pursue and develop that pattern, because
Hmm.
it really develops you inwardly,
Yeah.
on the internal, on that mental level, as well as that emotional, as well, to really stay on it, despite how your emotions may want to take you.
Right.
Because that's a big thing. Like, day and day, we have emotions that go through us.
Yeah.
If we did what we felt all the time, we know we'd be in trouble.
Right. Right.
You feel me?
Right. Especially on that one, because a lot of people would die if we didn't. Right.
Let's go straight to the
Right.
die.
Right. I know it's a dark thought, but
But it's,
honestly,
I
it's a
mean,
real thing. Like, you know, people wouldn't survive if people just really, because then honestly, that's what leads to death. But at the hands of somebody else, typically is based upon an emotional response to something,
mm-hmm.
right? That they don't like, or they want
Yep.
something and they're not willing to go work for it. So they may either
Mm-hmm.
steal, rob, kill somebody for it, or trying to
Yep.
get back at somebody,
Yep.
or like, somebody's having a bad day and then they just snap. It's like a lot of that, not being able to discipline that, not being able to control,
Yeah.
and really learning how to um, take those feelings and push them in the right way,
Yeah.
leads to negative outcomes.
Exactly.
So it's so in order to get positive outcomes, discipline is the root of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the root of discipline is sacrifice,
Yeah, I think that's
right?
what,
I think that's where discipline starts.
because
That's the
even with the
foundation.
pre-planning with that, because you have to count up, what am I going to sacrifice
Yeah.
to get there, or to have this, or to be this.
Yep. You got to count the cost,
Yep.
because if you don't, you may get to a point to where you didn't know it was going to cost you this,
Mm-hmm.
and because you didn't plan for it,
Mm-hmm.
it can lead you to falter. It
Right.
can lead you to revert back to it,
Yep.
especially if, like, there are going to be things that you can't think of that are going to pop up, and your discipline is going to keep you strong in what you're pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, when all else fails, you're disciplined because it's just habits that's been created. That once, like, something hits you, you know that this is what you've been doing, so you're able to stay strong in it. So you have to, sacrifice is a huge part of it, because you have to essentially die to yourself.
Yep.
Like, you have to
Yep.
die to what you want. And as a
Yep.
trainer, right? You know
Yep.
about this more than anything,
For real.
right? So with your clients, like, share some of the things that you even tell them in the midst of their fitness journey and getting their body right. And I know you're really focused on their mind and other aspects of it, but starting just from a physical appearance, you know, what is some things that discipline ties into what you do as a trainer?
As for myself,
Yeah.
yeah, because it definitely requires that. Like it because you have to have some mental fortitude. And you have to have like somewhat of a, at least for me, like I have to have like a certain standard,
Mm.
a certain standard for myself, um, on the daily, just as far as like how I move, just my physical health and well being and my daily habits around that, because it's all about the habitual. It's all about the the mental behavior
Mm.
of an individual,
Yeah.
that determines if they get a result or not. At the end of the day, because I tell my clients all the time, like I'm always going to the whole being of the person, because your thoughts and the way you think and your emotions are not separate from your body. It's all one. So when we collect data and we do our measurements and we look at the data and look at the graph and see like what's up, what's down, and we go back a few months, several months up until the current part, and then we can see and then go back, okay, like where were you on emotional level?
Mm.
Okay, where were you on your
Yeah.
emotional level at this
Yeah.
time? And of course, with women, that's probably one of their like main I would say probably missions as far as the spiritual part is developing that emotional balance.
Yeah.
Because women, of course, are just more naturally emotional. So it's like when you're feeling emotional, or if you have a lot of feelings, things that are going through you, discipline is what keeps you on that track. That's discipline is what keeps you heading in the direction that you say that you want to go.
Yeah.
Um, and managing those emotions is key, so that you can navigate through them and let them just pretty much flow through you, as opposed to you responding or reacting out of a temporary feeling.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so it's like just in all aspects, not just fitness. It's like you have to have that end goal, that sight, and realization of just a better, just better.
Yeah.
And you have to decide and be mindful of that daily, because it's going to require you daily to stay on those habits and to be patient enough to allow it to develop within you enough so that you can start to, in a way, master that level of
Mm.
discipleship,
Yeah.
of discipline,
Yeah.
with self. Because once you reach a certain level of self discipline, of course, there's always another level, because you might want to be curious and be like, okay, what's another higher height that I could go to, a better version that I can tap into, and that's going to take another level of discipline. So it all starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's not ready to self discipline.
Yeah.
So of course, me and a trainer, in a way, after my accountability that I provide is a form of discipline until they learn those self disciplinary habits in behavioral attitudes and whatnot. So I have to be there to kind of like, I kind of say it kind of like a child in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, hey, you off
Yeah.
100 burpees. Because this is what we agreed on. We both said,
Yeah.
if you didn't do this, this is going to happen.
This
So
guy
I got to hold
loves-
you accountable.
This guy loves burpees too.
And I kind of do,
No,
but I don't love them. But
It ain't no kind
they're
of.
just their money. Their money. Their money.
Yes,
They cash
yeah.
you in. They get you right. Nobody loves them.
You do.
But no, I don't.
Like you're
You can
always
say
trying
that
to
all you
make
want,
people.
but no, I don't love them.
Him
I
and
like them, but I don't love them.
As you
It's
can
not my
tell,
choice
as you
to
can
work
tell,
out,
it's like
you
a
know.
bad memory for me anytime he brings up
Clearly, because I forgot, but he
burpees.
remembers.
Yeah, it's just painful. It's all about period.
It's close to
even
death. Right?
even when I'm doing them away from you, I think of like just the evil person that you are to make people do burpees. Right.
No, you understand why I'm laughing so hard because I get that I get that same backlash from clients, especially this past week when I had them do 100 burpees and they're like, I just told you I'm not having a good day, and then you come out with doing all these burpees. Like, who are you? Why? You're evil. You're wicked.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't care. I mean,
like,
it is.
It's who hurt you today? Like what?
Right. It's like, why gotta be me my day going bad, giving you a whole lot.
Who do I need to talk to?
And look, this is what I tell my clients. Look, we wouldn't have to go so hard if you went hard for yourself already. Boom. So until then,
yeah. So hey guys, you're getting a prerequisite if you he's a great trainer and all, but just understand those are the comments that you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I'll be honest.
But he's good at what he does, and it's necessary. And he lives I was about to say he kind of lives the life that he talks about.
I was like, he's really gonna trust it.
But no, he lives that life. The thing that he pushes his clients to do, he lives a disciplined life himself.
Because I have to even say, like, I just not thought about this, like, just past a whole year of being or eating plant based, no meat, no dairy, of any kind, and that took a lot of discipline because a couple years ago I couldn't see myself doing any of that.
Yeah, that's a hard life change.
It is.
It's what you've been like. That's what you've been told your whole life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a discipline in and of itself.
It is.
And it's like, one thing about discipline is you have to understand it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
That it takes you falling sometimes or having bad days, but it's just the persistence to push through.
Showing up.
Right? Yeah, just showing up and just making better decisions the next time. Like, all right, I failed this time, but I'm going to do better this time. And then just building upon that. I think another part of a key component to discipline is consistency.
Right.
Is consistently making the best decision for you.
That consistency is there. And why would you say the consistent part is so important?
Because what you do consistently becomes habit.
Right.
So like now, because you've been so consistent in not eating meat, that it's now a part of your life habit. It's a part of, you're able to turn down the temptation of something that has meat in it because you've become so consistent. You've done the work. You've sacrificed those things. You've given up certain things to be able to say that, hey, I've done this for this extended period of time. Like it takes, that's what creates the discipline in you is the consistency of doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. Being great one day does not develop the character of discipline.
Right. It's like that beam, a laser is just like, or better yet, a drip of water dripping on a piece of metal.
Yep.
Through its consistent drops, it will cause the metal to fade, and then it could put a hole right in something that you would think wouldn't be destroyed. But it's just the consistent flow of the water. It's the consistency of it that helps you break through whatever it is that you're trying to attain. So you got to be consistent. It's just you got to make the right decision every day. You got to make the right decision, and just making it a life habit. Because then that's the only way it becomes a habit is doing it consistently.
Yep, committing to it.
Yeah. So it's and that's the part that it's not one of those like I do it this day and then I don't do it. Then I do it this day, and that's why it's like you're even like disciplining your diet and things like that is so hard because it's like, again, you get into a mental space where you're like, yo, I want this, and you go get it, opposed to being like, no, I'm committed, I'm sacrificing this It's a momentary thing for the long term.
Right. I want that.
Right.
So therefore, I'm going to forego this
Yeah.
for this time temporarily
Yeah.
because I want that more.
And which then, which leads to, you spoke about self-discipline, right? And
Mhm.
I when I, as we were talking beforehand, we were kind of, just uh, wanting to go in deep with what we were talking about and being, just preparing. Like that's another part of discipline is your preparation.
Yep.
And so we're talking about self-discipline, and typically the only reason why we decide to become self-disciplined is because life has disciplined us enough
Mhm.
based upon the decisions that we made.
Yep.
So, like case in point, if you if the reason why you're disciplining your diet and your eating habits is because you've been eating bad so long that now you have a medical condition that
Mhm.
now you have to discipline. Like your
Right.
life choices are
Right.
disciplining you,
Right.
right? It's whooping your behind.
Right.
It's causing you to fall in line. It's checking you. And so
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, I got to make this decision.
Right.
Because you didn't make the decision to be disciplined on your own.
Mhm.
It took an outside source
Mhm.
to force you to be disciplined,
Yep.
right? So that's
And sometimes that could be dangerous
yeah,
because like the correctional facilities, right? Um,
it's a
and
great example.
even down to like the home and from the parental and the the parents like kind of like not just saying discipline and disciplining you, but even showing their character,
Yeah,
um, a certain form of consistency, something that that they had to work towards and whatnot. And it's like if they didn't either share that or show that, you could end up in situations like being behind bars in a correctional
mm-hmm.
facility where they have to correct you or discipline you,
Yeah,
because it was not in place in your life, and which was, may have been reckless,
yeah,
which got you in the situation,
yep.
right? So that self discipline is like if you because I'll say this, like discipline is it's a necessity. So it's like if you don't appropriate it,
Mm.
life will
Mm-hmm.
appropriate discipline upon you because nothing stays the same.
Yeah,
Everything changes.
yeah, yeah. So it's like and then even getting into like areas of our lives that we need to discipline, like financially, like you have to learn how
Mhm.
to be disciplined with the
Yep.
resources that have been given to you, which is
Yeah.
that's all money is a resource.
Yep.
And how you use that resource will determine how much more you gain,
Yep.
what you're able to obtain with it,
Yeah.
right? It's based upon the discipline. It's like, that you have this is why like a lot of people are in low or in poverty positions, is because it's not that they don't have they can't afford to do stuff. It's
Mhm.
the fact that they make bad decisions with what they have, right? So
Mhm.
opposed to buying groceries for the month, they'll go buy some clothes or right. This is what
Right.
happens to even athletes when they
Yep.
amass a lot of
Mhm.
of income.
Mhm.
They're not disciplined in how they spend it. So then once their career's over, they have nothing to show for it.
Right.
And the people that were helping them blow it are not going to be the ones that help them, or be
Yeah.
with them in
Right.
those
When it's all gone.
right
Yeah.
lack of spaces,
Yeah.
right? So it's like it's important. And then so from a financial it's necessary so that because it also shows that you appreciate and that you're stewarding what God gave you properly,
Yeah.
right? It shows good stewardship to be disciplined financially,
Mhm.
right? From a sexual component, right? You hear people say you got to have D discipline, right?
Yep.
You got to be able to discipline your sex drive because when you are going through, like if you're going through a whole bunch of women or you're going through a whole bunch of men, it shows a part of your life that's not disciplined enough to find that one person to commit to on a daily basis. Also, you're spreading your emotional, physical, spiritual energies with so many different people, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
spiritual connections that you're connecting yourself to,
Yep.
and it just shows like a lack of discipline of caring for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
um we live in this age where it's like it's my body and I do whatever I want with it and I can go sleep with as many people. But people that are truly disciplined, they let you know that they discipline that area of their life, because through that can can come an unwanted pregnancy
A lot of
that
things.
now takes away your resources.
Yeah.
It could come with you make the judgment to sleep with the wrong person, and then
Mm-hmm.
they go and try to destroy your character because they either you took it from them, or they didn't like it and so they were embarrassed. So then they come up with a story to tell somebody that ruins your character, or um, it causes them to do something crazy because they got hooked on it, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's so many scenarios of the lack of discipline
Yeah.
in that area
Yeah.
can cost you so many things,
Oh, yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
can contract a
STD.
disease
Yeah.
from it, So there's so many things that comes from having, and then also it like takes away from your mental clarity,
Mm-hmm.
because like your whole focus is what chick am I gonna get next,
Right.
right? And it'll destroy your character too, because then you'll do anything to get a companion.
Yeah.
Or,
It definitely moves
right.
out the morals and the character
Yep.
piece when you are, lacking that self discipline.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's no self control.
Yep.
It's like a city without walls. Anything can come in and go out,
Yep.
and that's going to always leave you at a very a state of dis-ease, a state of instability, and a state of just always, like you said, being clouded.
Yep.
Just being clouded because you got so much in your. You got to have boundaries. You got to have the discipline even to maintain boundaries to keep. Because you can't just let any and everybody come in and out of your space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's that discipline too. Even just managing yourself and having that self care enough to like not let just anybody come up in your space, not letting anybody just come and dump stuff on you, not just letting anybody just come and connect with you on a sexual level.
Yeah.
You feel me? So like that's a very good character trait, to have the discipline
Yep.
that's that discipline of your stuff.
And then I'll even addition, whenever you do find a mate to marry, because you're able to discipline it in your single
Yep.
season.
Yep,
When you
say
get
it.
married, you're gonna have moments where you're not going to get it consistently. And so now you got to lean on the fact that, okay,
Mhm.
I discipline my drive in that space.
Mhm.
I just bring that same discipline into this space. So now you don't bring some extra stuff that is unnecessary
Exactly.
into your marriage.
Exactly.
And I say that just from a experience, right?
Right.
That's a point of experience for me.
Yep.
Is like when those moments where, contrary to popular belief and what I thought, it's like, yeah, you get it any and all the time in your marriage, and it's not necessarily true.
Right.
And if you don't have that discipline, you'll go find it everywhere else.
Exactly.
So if you spent your singleness just sleeping with whoever because you can,
Yep. And
Well,
then you
now
like,
you-
I'm gonna just lock this one down, see if they can hold me down.
Right.
But it's really about you holding yourself down and your
Yep.
discipline.
yep, because you will
Yeah.
definitely go out there, and now you mess up your marriage. And then, which then again it's a domino
It
effect of
trickles.
things.
Yep.
Right? So it's like you create that discipline that helps you, maintain that is good, right?
Right.
As well. So it's like those are pretty much probably like the three biggest areas of discipline is what you eat, right?
Yeah.
Because that goes into your honestly, what you eat goes into your mental health, your
Yep.
physical health, spiritual health,
Yep.
emotional health.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat, and it brings a sober mindedness.
Yeah.
It gives you such clarity of thought
Yeah.
when you're eating properly,
Yeah.
right? When you're abstaining from sex,
Yeah.
right? In a single season, it gives clarity. It provides so many good things, and then even from a financial standpoint, whenever you're disciplined with your finances, it gives you clarity because you can make decisions because you want to and not because you have to.
Exactly.
Right,
That's
if you-
that's the best place to be,
Yep.
to make decisions from I can, I want to versus I have to
I have
and
to.
I need to.
Because like if you're disciplined with your think if you're disciplined with how you spend money, whenever the famine comes,
Mm-hmm.
you're okay.
Exactly.
You're not freaking out because of the lack of discipline,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a difference in if you're growing in discipline and you're not where you want to be financially, and then something happens and you may be stressed out just because it's just life happening, opposed to because you are so undisciplined with your finances that something happens, then you're like, dang, I wish I saved,
Right.
I wish I had.
Right.
Right, not that you're building, and so like you're right now you're maybe living paycheck to paycheck to cover things, but the more you discipline what goes out,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to keep more, so that now you begin to get yourself ahead.
Right.
Right, so instead of like if you need to save, let's say $200 a month, well then you spend more time buying groceries and cooking at home, and sacrificing going out to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and sacrificing the convenient thing and cooking and meal prepping, so that now you now you got $200 that stays in your household,
Mm-hmm.
which then
Mm-hmm.
over the course of a year is $2,400 that stays in your home.
Exactly.
Now you have some breathing room that you could build upon.
Exactly.
Right, so those those are the key areas that cause us the most distress, honestly.
Yeah.
Is from your eating, from sex, and from your finances.
Because these are areas that we love to indulge in.
Yep.
We love to just live for the experience of it in fullness. Give
Yep.
it to me.
Yep. I mean,
More.
to the point to where you have like whenever people post stuff, it's like food porn, right?
Yeah.
So you got food porn, you got regular porn,
Yeah.
which is not good for you, and then I haven't seen a financial porn, but I wouldn't be
But
surprised.
whenever you see some money,
Yeah, and abundance, like
or something you want that money can get you,
yeah,
you gonna react to it and
yeah,
be like, oh,
yeah, right,
I'm about to go outside my budget.
right, right. It's like it's like people just yeah. So yeah, it's
And even like, 'cause discipline is, it does produce pain,
mm,
but just like pain is temporary, but discipline produces pain that is temporary. Now, if we don't have discipline, we end up dealing with a different type of pain called regret,
mm,
which weighs tons,
mm,
weighs on you long,
mm,
weighs on your mental, sometimes even your physical and emotional. So discipline is worthy because it keeps you just in that good place of being ahead. And it does take maturity. It develops maturity.
there we go.
Um, Definitely, because you can't have an immature, disciplined person.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like an
yeah,
oxymoron.
yeah,
Like they go hand in hand, discipline and maturity. Because that maintains and develops that state of maturity, that character building through discipline and whatnot. So it's like, it's like when we make our decisions, like we have to really decide. When we make our decisions, we have to decide to make that decision and hold that down,
yeah,
and stick to it the best way we can. And we learn through things like regret to be more disciplined, because like, man, that hurts.
yeah,
That hurts. I hate that I missed the opportunity. I hate that I, missed that. I hate that I'm dealing with this still. So it's like, discipline puts you into that certain frame of perspective, and it's definitely this, I won't say it's just a sense of responsibility, but it is a responsibility that produces results. And the only way you'll become friends with discipline is as you choose to face it and embrace it daily, and it will actually make you into a greater person over time as you just keep
yeah,
facing it. If you keep like really using discipline as a tool to really like keep living and really leveling up and really keep just becoming your best self, really. Because that's the key, is to really stay down till you come up on that discipline. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. And discipline is one of the ultimate success principles, right?
Yep.
You'll never hear anybody talk about being successful without having discipline, right? Like one of my favorite authors is Dr. Miles Monroe, and he talks about that um, that these corporations pay athletes not because of their talents, but because of their discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't become great at something to where people want to use you to sell a product
Right.
without a level of discipline,
Right.
right? It's like when you hear someone like a LeBron or a Steph
Mm-hmm.
that or better yet, one of the best examples
it.
of modern day is Kobe Bryant,
That's
right?
what I was waiting for
The
you to get
the
to.
Mamba mentality
Yeah.
is he breaks down. He's like, yo, most people go to the gym at 9 o'clock and then they go at 5. He's like, yo, no, I get up and I'm at the gym at 5. I come home and chill, and then I hit the gym at 9, come home and chill. Then I go to the gym at 2, come home and chill, and then so by the time someone wakes up, I've gotten 2 workouts in.
Mm-hmm.
And then over doing that consistently, now I've become 2 times better than the person next to me because I was willing to discipline myself to get up earlier and to move, right?
Exactly.
It's just that like that burning desire to be
Yep.
great
Yep.
that you're willing to sacrifice all these
Yep.
things, right?
All that.
Not partying,
Yep.
not sleeping around, not blowing money, not
Mm-hmm.
like and you can tell that in the different
Yep.
different people.
It separates you. Your level
Yep.
of self discipline
Yep.
separates you from everything and everyone else.
Yep. So it's like, people that do great things from a financial standpoint is because they were disciplined in how they spent their money. They were disciplined in the thoughts that
Mhm.
came in their head. They were disciplined in
Yep.
building the proper relationships
Yeah.
to help get them to where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's hard, right? But you pay the price up front for it.
Right.
Right? You pay the price up front for discipline.
Right. Because there's always a price to pay.
Always a price to pay. What are you willing? And like when my wife wants to do something, or she's like coming to me, and I'm like, all right, so what are you willing to give up to attain this? Honestly, when I have a conversation with anybody, like one of my little brothers, he was like, yeah, I want to go, play basketball in the NBA. I want to do this. I said, all right, bro, you got to get up at 5:30 every morning and go run and dribble a basketball.
Right, because you up there with a very small percentage of people who, one, get the opportunity, and
Right.
two, that are high performing rare athletes.
Right. Like
and more will be coming. So you have to stay up.
And in the NBA specifically,
Right.
It's like the to get to the NBA, what you would say, 0.00001%
Right.
of the population make it to the NBA, and then the level of discipline separates the LeBrons
Exactly.
from the 15th guy on the bench.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what separates them. Well, I say that and talent level, right? Like how you're physically built and like what your God-given abilities are. Like
even that.
I'll say like one of my favorite players growing up was Tracy McGrady, right? And sometimes, or when as I kind of look back on his career, it's like you could tell the difference is he was much more talented than Kobe Bryant. Just natural talent. But Kobe and
that
his
work ethic.
discipline and that work ethic separated them.
Yep.
Like they both made it to the Hall of Fame, but one made it with 5 rings,
Exactly.
one made it without them.
Exactly.
It was like that's
Yes.
the thing that separated them.
Yes, that part, just like they say, hard work beats talent any day.
Absolutely.
And people who are talented in one area that say that, might think that they have it all to get to that next level, but you still have that decision to make daily, to dedicate to working on you and that craft to become, because you can become anything you really desire if you're willing to pay that price and put that work in to do it. So it don't matter if somebody seems like they have the natural gift, to do this or do that. They could easily lose it because they might think they have it all and they don't sharpen or discipline themselves just to sharpen that gift, to keep that sword sharp enough to keep making an impact, to keep executing. You know what I'm saying? So, discipline will help take you to the next level, even with not having the talent.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And before we close, one thing we have to talk about with discipline is not without accountability.
There has to be some accountability to follow right there.
There has to be some form. And the reason why that thought popped up in my head as we're talking about NBA players, and one of the funniest things that's out there today is Ben Simmons wanting to be traded from the 76ers. And it's like, yo, dude, like, you're mad at the team, right? Because your coach said, well, we don't know if we can win a championship with him, right? First of all, did y'all win? No. So we don't know if we can win a championship with you. Secondly, this man is with you day in and day out. So he sees your worth ethic. He sees the level of discipline that you have.
Yeah.
Right? So because they don't see it, well, guess what? Your lack of discipline shows up game time.
Yep.
The money's on the line.
Yep.
Your discipline shows up.
Yep.
So when you give up a wide open dunk or layup because you haven't put in the preparation for that moment, you expose yourself. And because you don't, and then his decision to talk about, I want to trade because he fell short, shows me that there's nobody in his circle holding him accountable.
Yeah, to let him know.
Exactly
what.
Right, because, like, bro, it's like, nah, dude, you sitting there, you talking about you want to trade, but you dropped the ball. They didn't drop the ball. They paid you. They put you in position. It was up to you, and you dropped the ball. So it shows that you have a lack of a support group that's willing to hold you accountable. So you have to be mindful in a disciplined mindset is having yes men in your life. Because you need somebody that's going to check you. You need somebody to be like, nah, bro, you wrong. Like, you ain't right in this situation. You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to go back. And because of that, then it shows the difference, right? The reason why Steph Curry is as great as he is the discipline. You don't ever see him coming in out of shape, right? You don't ever see him from a mental standpoint being off. He comes in, he locks in. Same with LeBron, right? He comes in, he invests so much in his mind, his body, to be able to be consistent for years. That's what the great players do. And they have accountability people around them to say, nah, bruh, right? They accept the fact that, oh, that's what coach said. That's what coach said about me. Oh, you don't think you can win? All right, cool. I'm going to go lock in even more.
Right.
I'm going to show you. Like, oh, you don't believe?
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back with a 50% increase in me being able to do something. Not like I want to pout and cry like a little baby. Like, you know.
I'm not going to demand respect. I'm going to just through my actions let that come to it as it should.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because like what gave Jordan that propelled him into his greatness was after they lost to the Pistons the last time, he said never again, and got right back in the gym and rebuilt his body to be able to withstand it to where they couldn't do nothing. And then he brought his boys in with him because what they understood was like, I can't break him. Right? So Michael got in to prepare his body for the pain that was coming.
Right.
He got his teammates in because he realized that the other team couldn't mentally break him by playing him extra physically. I got to get these guys in here because it's the mental thing.
Exactly.
And once we get the mental thing with them, we'll be unstoppable.
Yep. And that's why, like, the mental part, at least before we go, like how Phil Jackson, how he would coach the team. He would coach them from a mental aspect. You know, having them to meditate, having them to focus on disciplines to develop their character, to carry them to great heights of multiple championships. That's a championship coach that works on your mind, that holds you accountable, that, you know, holds you to the fire, and it's just not about what we say, it's about what we do in here, you feel me? So it's like having somebody in your corner that helps you on that mental aspect is so key, and so vital. At least until you can get into the mode of being self-disciplined and self-accountable,
Yeah.
so that you can know that you can, what I'm saying, become better and start to really improve in certain areas and really reach those places that you really want to. So it's like, in terms of success, it's all about what we truly desire
Yep.
at the end of the day. Even what you were talking about earlier, as far as like somebody who gets forced to, uh, after a health scare, even though they had to go through that area, that rough road per se, the school of the hard knocks, still they made a decision that I want to live.
Yeah.
Even though they went through much suffering, I want to live. So therefore, I reached my point of suffering. Now I'm going to go ahead and just submit to the discipline.
Yeah.
Some people have to go first through submitting to the discipline and then letting that work in them, and then they can go into themselves and start doing the mature level of discipline, the self-discipline.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, yeah. Discipline is the way. Don't run from it.
Yeah,
Don't run from it.
It is a key to success is
Yeah.
discipline, and it's hard to do.
It's not easy.
Like, I mean, for myself, I'm on a fitness journey, getting back to where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I was at a point to where I was at a certain weight. I lost a whole bunch of weight through discipline, and then through emotional decisions, I've gained it back. So now it's like I'm back on the journey of being disciplined,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then, and we'll talk about this another day too. Even dealing with this pandemic that we're in, if we all would just discipline our diets, it would discipline our diets and our eating options and what we put in our body would give us a better chance to fight off whatever attacks our body. Nobody's talking about that,
that's
but
real.
that's going to be for another day for us.
Right.
But yeah, discipline is the foundation to success, right? It's one of the foundational components of success.
Definitely a pillar in that success. Yeah.
And it takes time. It's not something that develops overnight. And another part that I'm having to learn is just because you did it once doesn't mean trying to do it again is going to be easy. It's something that it takes time, and it's more mental than it is anything else.
Exactly. It's so mental.
It's so it's all about the mentality. So I hope something was said that would help you want to become more disciplined in your life so that you can have so that you can live out your purpose. Yeah. Right? And really tap into who you are authentically.
Truly.
Right? Truly who you are as you pursue your purpose. So again, if you like what you heard, please like, share, comment, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Raw on Purpose Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Raw on Purpose _, and you can find us on Facebook at Raw on Purpose. And if you have any thoughts, concerns, questions, anything, you can email us at rawonpurpose@gmail.com, and that's RAONPURPOSE, and we're streaming on all podcasting platforms. Yes. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. We had a good time conversing with you today, and we look forward to the next episode. And until next time, this is your boy Zay.
And of course, this is your boy Rashad.
And this is the Raw on Purpose Podcast.
Tapping, tap into your purpose. Tapping. Check it. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. We tapping